Alrighty, welcome back. So, I think I would like to maybe wrap up with the design, the final design, before going into the programming again. So, we got our crystal press. That works. Let's do the mixing station. Okay, now, mixing station is supposed to be the place where we can combine multiple liquids into one. Okay, do I have pen pressure? Yes, beautiful. So we know that we have this. Right, so it's a big old jug. I think it's relatively rounded. It looks like there's a pipe that goes down. And right, and a bunch of smaller pipes. So how is this gonna actually work? Well, I'm thinking we might have to expand it. Actually there's a spout right at the front. If you look at it from the right orientation, there's a spout at the front, and then there's also the place where we deposit the liquids. Hmm. Okay. Well, this is where we have to consider that we have to use multiple potions or multiple of a single chemical to create a single consumable of that chemical. Hmm. Is this going to be something that is crafted over time? Huh. One idea is to have multiple slots. Into each one of those slots, you populate whatever tonics or whatever chemicals you've prepared, and then you can use little valves to deposit varying amounts of that liquid. The only issue is that technically our potions, our liquids, don't really have an amount. They all just have one unit, so to speak. Oil has an amount, so it's not a foreign concept. Lantern oil, so it has an amount. Hmm. It has an amount and it has a stack of one. Which, by the way, means that we won't be able to stack liquids because they have an amount. Hmm. Do we just deposit one at a time? It's got to be a mini game. If you're just dragging and dropping, that's not really a mini game. So we could say that we have our spout that goes down. Right? And then we have to deposit the liquids in a particular order. So we can have this, 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 this. These are inventory slots. Maybe if we want to get fancy enough, we could do it like this. The whole bench would have to be redesigned, however. Okay. And then all of these are pipes. Okay, and we have valves next to each one. And then your job is to open these valves in the proper order. And if you do that in the proper order, in the correct order, it is going to, well, create the chemical you're looking to create. And that's kind of the whole point of making it be a mini game. Because if you're just dragging and dropping a bunch of ingredients into a slot or a series of slots, then that's just Minecraft. So we're just repeating the same exact thing that has happened before. And in certain cases, that's okay. In other cases, I think it's just it's gonna feel like redundant operation. You're not really doing anything all that interesting. And wasting time on uninteresting things might not be such a great idea. Now, since we have to add them in a particular order, that does mean that you have to discover what that order is, and that order can be randomized. Right? Hmm. I guess there's a component of suspense to it. If you get the recipe right, you pour the spout, and then it pours something down into your container, beaker, and then you move your mouse over it and see if what you ended up with is what you wanted to do. Hmm. Okay. Hmm. Okay. Just do something like this. We'll have the items more scattered about. so they're not all at the same level. This is where the inventory slot's going to go. Mm-hmm. Now, we could either have the player manually open these valves. What stops the player from just placing the ingredient into the first one and then opening the valve and then just keep placing the ingredients into the slot that way, one after another? I mean, realistically, we could still keep the idea of having to deposit the ingredients in a particular order without having to have multiple slots. So they still have to do it in the sequence, except they don't pre-place anything. That would, however, go against a particular mechanic where you can place something in here and then just leave, and it will just do the cooking for you, where it's based on automation, right? Also, if we can't stack anything, that's a bit of a problem because it only produces one, so you can't automate it. Hmm. Although we could always just come back later and make a more advanced version of this. It will be a separate object, sure. Would program it again, but wouldn't really be that much of a trouble. We can figure out the system by that point. It could be an upgrade. It's like a chest. You place it next to the crafting bench, and then it deposits automatically into the chest. Hmm. so this is what we have for now. It's a manual piece. Hmm. No flask here. Shouldn't be a part of the design. That's going to be an inventory slot. Hmm. We have to deposit in a particular order. You know, we could hypothetically just add some sort of a crate on the side. Yeah, but if we bake it directly into the item right away, then feels a little unearned. Just giving it for free seems a little unearned. I like the way these sprites came out though. It's really cool. Might have to revisit this one. This has got even thickness on all lines. You know, if we wanted to do batching, like being able to do multiple at the same time, we could make it so that it's an upgradable output, i.e. a crate on the side, but give the player the ability to supply multiple inputs. Something like this. So the player would have 1 slot, 2 slot, 3 slot, 4 slot. Right? And then you add the 4 chemicals together. Could be 3, could be 2. But it's going to go through first, second, third, fourth. And then if you have an empty beaker here, or flask, it will populate it with the appropriate liquid. And then it's your job to pick it up so that it can start producing the next one. Now, if we do get to the point where we can upgrade this thing, it's going to be a crate nearby, and after producing the potion, it's going to put it into the crate. which, funny enough, we could have the object detect the crate nearby and then deposit to it. That could work. It's not super visual. It might just be okay. And then one station can be used to automate one thing with the production of one chemical. Hmm. 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 Now, if we do it this way, we technically don't have to worry about the order. Well, actually, we can still take advantage of it. First, second, third, fourth. The code could initialize by checking how many chemicals are deposited. And then if we only have 3 chemicals, it is going to only focus on producing any final results that take 3 chemicals. And you could stagger them like this. As long as the next slot is properly populated. So technically, if order of production matters, if the order of production matters, then what? Then we can have multiple chemicals that all take the same chems, but they have to be delivered in different orders. Huh. Mm hmm. Try to see if there's any flaws in the system. Maybe we could do 5 slots. Just for good measure. Okay. Cool. I guess we can roll with it, and if we don't like it, we could just remake it. Let me save this real quick. Assets, sprites, crafting, yep. Mixing station. Okay, so in the game, this seems like it's a wooden piece. Okay. Any holes? Not by the... well, almost. Cool. Looks like we have no data there. Oh, nice. There's a bit of a dimension to it. Whoops, excuse me for destroying your headphones. All right. There we go. Awfully quiet in chat today. Okay, we may want to make this be multiply. Hey, lurking. There he is. Um, doing pretty good. I think I figured out how I'm gonna go about getting this up and running. What kind of mechanics to work with. I think I'm gonna leave some room for possible automation so you can mass produce, well, mass quote unquote, but relatively automate some of the production. We're not talking Factorio style automation, but something that isn't like you gotta sit there and baby it. Nice. Doop doop doo doo doo. There we go, and just gonna crop it. Crop it. Get some help. Beautiful. Engine, sprites, UI, crafting. I guess it's just here. So this is mixing station. Kunge. And that's it. Let's pop into the mixing station. There we go. I'm gonna copy the interface. Don't need this. Don't need that. Yeah. Maybe. Okay, so that's only 4. But that's only 4 because our entire tool is too small. Technically, if the first ingredient is at the bottom, we have to go this way. I could also stagger it. Go. Don't need this. Don't need that. Don't need the flame. Also, don't eat the flame. This is the output. There we go. Think night is for me. Yep. It's about nighttime. Almost 11. Okay. You know, we could hypothetically give it more room by putting the chemical deposits on the left. because then we can put it lower. Oh, yes. Okay. Something along those lines. And then since it's a little bit wider, we'll actually be able to fit in the inventory slots into it. Okay. I'm not going to destroy this. Just going to do a little... I'm going to pull a Stalin on it. Just make it like it never existed. There we go. Call it the Joseph Special. Okay. Okay. So that gives us 6, maybe even 7 ingredients worth of space. It looks like 6 is the answer. All right, I think 6 ingredients is more than enough. Cool. That works. Now, interact. Inventory open. Okay, we'll be hiding and revealing these things. That is good. Okay, and I think Crystal Press... Crystal Press doesn't have this, so... While we're here... When in Rome... Oh. Why you be complaining? Oh, right. We gotta actually set a property of the node. Hey, we don't want everything to be visible. Damn it, I just closed Godot. Okay. Whoops. Come on. Are we gonna open or what? We're not. There's that problem again. I've had this happen today already. Substance Painter wouldn't open. Alright. Oh, great. A Windows update is pending to be installed. Gee, I wonder why my software magically stopped launching right away. And gee, I wonder what's gonna fix it magically out of nowhere. For God's sakes, man. I swear, every time there's a Windows update, some shit shenanigans start popping up. The internet not working was working fine for years and years and years. Windows is the worst. I received those drive expansions. I just need to get myself another drive, and then I'll look into Linux Mint, since that's what Zoltan's experimenting with. And hypothetically, besides Substance Painter, everything else pretty much works on Linux. I think that should be fine. And hey, if I'm working on Linux, that means I can make Linux distros of my game. And yeah, then all the folks who constantly complain, is there going to be Linux built for it, will finally be happy. All right, let's see. As long as I don't RM my system folder. Okay. Man, I gotta tell you, me learning, finally getting around to learning how to do FPS hands and animations and scripted events is such a huge leap forward in the sort of things I can put together. But it makes me wonder, what's the next leap forward? I kind of perceive third person character animations or full on actor animations, maybe mocap, facial animations, but you never know. I think a lot of really cinematic uh, games derive their quality from camera work, lighting, and composition. Okay. Switchable first and third person, something I'm interested in. I gotta say, I know Fallout offers that feature. I never use it. I almost pretty much never play in third person. I feel like third person of Fallout is quite literally there just to give you fan service to the power armor or costumes. That's basically it. Okay. Lovely. Okay. Stairway to Heaven. What happened? Inventory. Ah, right. So every crafting station, because it uses inventory slots, has to have an inventory variable. All right. Okay, so that's dilution station. That's the mixing. Press. Grinding bench. Okay. So what do we have here? We can take log, place, can't light it up because we need matches. Light it. We got fire. What's next? While we have fire, we can deposit water here. Okay. And then some sort of a dust, cinder dust here. And then we deposit a cam beaker at the bottom. And then here's the first problem. If we put a whole stack of cam beakers, then what happens? What happens on the output? Can't destroy the full stack. Wouldn't be fair. It'd be funny though. Are we gonna need a whole extra slot for the output? Which kind of defeats the purpose. I guess in Minecraft crafting benches, the output slot is that. It's for output only. You can't place anything into it. So they never had to worry about that problem. If you want a beaker, you put it in the input slot. So hypothetically, we could do the same thing here. Pop in, have an extra slot on the side. If we only place one, then it would still be removed from here and placed here. We could also program the inventory slot to have a checkbox in it that says accepts only one. So if you try to drop an entire stack here, then it's only gonna drop one. But that's gonna put a wrench into our automation plan. Could put an output slot right here, technically. That's the case of dilation. Or dilution, not dilation. Dilution station. I fear to know what a dilation station would look like. Let's not go down that road. Item slot. Item slot. Beaker. And if that's the case, then I need to borrow the fade. Yeah, okay, fair enough. That's easy enough here. Crystal press. Crystal press is kind of understandable because you can't really automate it. You have slots, you pour dust into them, press it down, and then you get a gem with that mold shape. And then it just uses all of them. And there's really no way to automate it either. You have to physically pull the handle. Unless you get an upgrade that can automate it. Which, the process of automating this could quite literally mean I animate an extra object. It's like a box with two gears, and it will appear next to the machine, attached to it, and it will also have a little crate, maybe like 4x4 grid for the crate, where it's going to place the remaining items. So it's an upgrade. In the level, there's physically nothing there. But when you pop open an interface, you will see a crate with additional all the prepped items. And the gears indicate that the handle will move automatically by itself. Mixing station. We gotta have a beaker in the mixing station. Okay, now we could achieve it by placing it here. That doesn't make sense. Let's place it right here. Okay. This one doesn't really need anything. You don't give it beakers or anything. It just pops in over here, so that's fine. This, not the most ideal solution, but okay. And grinding station, I guess we can... Yeah, once we get to automation, then we'll figure it out. Okay. Fair enough. So let's go dilution station. So what do? Place beaker. Place liquid. Place dust. While the fire is going, we will have what? While the fire is going, we'll have a timer. When the timer runs out, consumes a single water, consumes a single dust, produces the final result. Oh, it consumes a single beaker and then produces the final result. But then it's a 1-to-1 ratio. 1 water, 1 dust, and 1 beaker. 1 beaker is fine. But the 1 water... Realistically, it's only the type of dust that you put in here that determines what you're going to get on the other side, on the output. So we don't have to think of this in terms of how many dusts and waters it takes. We could look at this in terms of time. How much time it takes to produce. And that's kind of curious because when you're dealing with time, it doesn't quantify a single recipe as, oh, 2 gold nuggets, 1 stick, 1 log. And then you get yourself, you know, fancy pants Pinocchio. Water has to be present. Dust has to be present. Beaker has to be present. Fire has to be present. 4 conditions. That might get a little messy, though. I feel like that might get a little too messy. We could say, since we have amber dust in the input, that should produce amber liquid. Okay. And amber liquid will require 3 waters and 2 amber dusts to make. And it will take up an X amount of time to make it. Okay. Just trying to predict if there's going to be any issues with that. Amber dust goes in. If that's the case, we could make it not start production until you put the correct number of the items into it. Right? So it has to have 1 beaker, 2 dusts, 5 waters, for example. Until you put in that much, it's not going to produce anything. In which case, we might want to have an indicator, progress indicator, to communicate to the player whether or not the production has started. Hmm. You know what? That I want to make it transparent. This is going to be an overlay in that case. Insert. This is going to be the underlay. Should really clean that up. I think we can afford to give it some sort of a red or orangish color.
Yo, what's up?
Let's do this.
What's up?
Okay, so that's an indicator. Progress. Background. Cool. Okay. This goes to assets, sprites, UI. Nope. UI. And then this is progress fill bar. Okay. So I need to extract this thing. Tools, scripts, export layers. Yep, just keep it 64 by 64. Group as layer. Ignore invisible. Yup. And select. And then we go here. Child of Ether. Engine. Sprites. UI. Okay. Crafting progress bar. Okay, give it a sec. Get it sported. There we go. Okay, and then texture progress bar. Oh, crystal press, crystal press. Boy, never have enough. Dilution station, crafting progress bar. Oh, come on now. Okay. No. Okay. Can we get this? What are my thoughts on pineapple on pizza? Love it. It's not an everyday thing, but it's delicious. It's called the Hawaiian. Although, I don't mind putting pineapple on other types. But yeah. W in chat. Blasphemy. You don't put it on every pizza. But if you try it, I think you'd be surprised. Why did the background get exported? Damn it. What's with the background? Ignore invisible. Yes. What about pairs? Never tried that. Ignore invisible, group as layer. Oh, JPEG. Whoops. That's why it's not gonna work. All right.
What's up?
Who's that?
Yo, pick up the phone. What's up?
What's up?
Yo, Duque, pick up the phone.
Yo. What's up?
Oh man. Okay. Didn't have my proper output connected. Couldn't jump on that. All right, let's get top over progress background. Beautiful. Okay. Beautiful. So now that we have this set up, that's That doesn't seem right. Hold on. Clockwise. 25%. And then angles. %. There we go. Nice. Alrighty. I think that yeah, that should be okay. So I guess we are doing the Minecrafty approach. We don't need this. We do need one here. No? Can't copy it? Really? Copy node. Paste node. There we go. I think that that's going to communicate it pretty well. Grinding, don't need it. Okay. Can we at least get the dilution station running today? Okay. So it has a progress bar. It will detect, first of all, what is inserted into this slot. So we can put that first. Here, after checking this, it will know what type of output item it is going to produce. So then it's going to check, do we have enough water? Do we have at least one beaker? And is the flame on? And if that's the case, then it's going to start a timer. And when the timer runs out, subtract that many powders, subtract that many waters, subtract one beaker, place it down here. You earned yourself a sub. Thank you. And you go for a sub. Okay, so the first things first, we need a place where the dilution instructions can be stored. So I think master node is the way to go, since that's where we're already placing item database and what is it? Quest data. Plant stages, yeah, all that good jazz. So dilution station, or I guess dilution info. Dilution DB database. Cool. And then we know by input item, we can only insert one item here, so we are okay with using the key of the item. I'm looking for item database and I collapsed it. Okay, so cinder amber, cinder dust. That's what it called. All right. So if we put in cinder dust, what do we need? We need 3 waters. We need this is dilution. So dusts, I guess just amount is going to be fine. Who knows? We might want to dilute other stuff. Amount is 6. Okay, we need time. time, let's say 5 seconds for the time being. And output. What does it produce? Cinder. We need a proper terminology for this. So we drink brews, we throw tonics. What is the intermediate step? Cinder serum? Maybe. So output cinder serum. There's a better word for serum? Yeah, we'll see. Okay. So go to mixing, not mixing station. This is dilution station. It would be nice if we could make a system that is event-based instead of constantly checking if an item has been inserted. Actually, that might not be such a good idea, because we could insert the dust first, and then after we insert all this other stuff, it's not really gonna work. Okay. Let's do this. Var dilution started false. So if not dilution started, then first things first is check the powder, which is item slot 0. If not dilution started, and fire on is true, and okay, we probably want to have multiple conditions here. So if, what are the requirements? Beaker 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's item slot 4. If it has 4 and inventory 4 ID is cam beaker. Yep, cam beaker. Okay, so beaker is present. Next. Amount of dust. So inventory has item under 0, which is the powder, and inventory 0 ID is what? Well, this is a tricky one. Because we could put literally anything into it, but not everything is dilutable. So we have to maybe check if there's such a dilution recipe. So we can go master node dilution database. So and master node dilution database has, I think has, yeah, has this, the key that corresponds to the item that we've just put in. Chem beaker's in. Fire's on. Dust is there. Well, that's basically it. We can say dilution started becomes true. And we need a timer. Oh, we have a dilution timer. Okay. We're not using it yet, so that's perfect. Dilution timer. But the movie buffs in the comments, what other great movies along the lines of the Thing would you recommend? I'm actually kind of curious. Outside of, you know, the obvious Alien, which basically is it. Start. I was gonna pay for college, but thanks. The $2 college. What will you do now? Ooh, appreciate it. Get dilution timer. Start. Just hopped on the stream. What are you making? Making a little survival story-based game. I don't actually have a proper abbreviation for this. The Fog, Prince of the Fog, Halloween. Halloween is more like Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street. It doesn't really have the same. I don't know. The Thing to me feels a lot more serious, right? How like Friday the 13th is, I guess, what you would classify as a classic slasher. So, keep this running. We'll do some work. The Glimbo. Ugh. Okay. I'll be able to show what the gameplay looks like so far in a sec. Dilution timer. Start. We need to grab from the master node, from the database, the base. We're going to access the item recipe by item ID. Get the time. And that's it. So after this, we have to have else. There's probably going to be some exceptions I'll have to account for. But let's do this. If fire on. Hurry up and do gameplay. What should I open? An OnlyFans now? Only stands. If not dilution started. If fire's on. So this will happen when the dilution has started, which kind of assumes that we've passed all of these events. So what we can do in this case if the dilution has started, there is a case when we can stop it. So we have dilution timer. Can we pause it? Is there such a method? Paused. If true, timer's paused will not proceed until it's unpaused, even if start is called. There is set paused, so that means we can call execute this. So let's do false. Or paused, I guess this would be true. If the dilution timer has already started, if fire on is false, or oh man, there's so many exceptions. Chem beaker's missing or not the same. Huh. No. Chem beaker, yes. This is okay. So we're going to do or not has. It's either it doesn't have it or it is not a chem beaker or the dust has been removed or no dust, or if the dust is there, do gameplay in a minute. Inventory has 0. So not has 0. We don't have a dust in it. Or the dust is not the same, so it's been swapped out. That's an important one. So var inserted dust. Inserted dust. Null. Okay, so we're going to do this. Inserted dust. We're going to copy the inventory ID. So we're going to say or the inserted dust does no longer match the inventory ID. We're going to pause the timer. Else, keep it running. Okay. Now, when the timer runs out, what should happen? Well, if the timer runs out, let's start with subtracting 1 chem beaker. Consume 1 chem beaker. If the timer runs out, you die. Something like that. The inventory has item number 4. Item number 4 is 0, 1, 2, 3. Wait, what? 4. It's supposed to be 3. Okay, see that's the problem. I have to keep track of what number represents what item. Let's not do that. So 3. So if inventory has 3 and it's a chem beaker, we're going to talk to the inventory item 3, and then stack minus equals 1, and then if stack has reached less or equals to 0, remove. Is it remove or is it erase? Erase 3. Cool. Next, consume require water. That's what we haven't double checked here yet. And here either. So we'll do that in a sec. Consume required water. Water is slot number 1. Same concept. If it has slot 0, 1, so 1, 1, and then ID is either, we have 2 types of water that we have to use. Using dirty water will diminish the effect. Dirty water, okay. So we'll just pop that in here. Master node. Come on. Dilution station. So, and it's either dirty water or what? Clean water? Clean water. Nice. Has. You can do in with arrays in Godot, right? Like string in array. Okay. Inventory has item number 1, and it is either dirty water or clean water. Then subtract 1 stack. If the stack reaches 0, remove the item. do gameplay with the water gun. Give me 1 sec. This mofo's sending me $2 donations to see gameplay. Right after I show gameplay, he goes to PayPal and does a chargeback. I'm gonna do a chargeback. Should have shown me gameplay. That's what I'm gonna do. Okay. Consume required water. Almost there. Almost there. Consume required water. What's the next step? Consume dust. Actually, we don't consume 1 water. We consume however much water is required by the recipe, which is here. Except not time. It is... Jeez, that's a lot. Water. Okay. And then, if it's less or equals to 0, erase. Now, this kind of assumes that we have enough. Can't rush greatness. Cool. So that's good. All right, now consume the dusts. So, inventory has item 0, and that ID has to match still. So we have insert a dust. Yep, so that matches. In that case, inventory 0 stack will remove amount from the recipe. So amount will be 6 in this case. And then if the stack of 0 no longer has anything, we erase. And that's basically it. Now, this is where we output the item, but we haven't done that yet. And then I need to make sure this accounts for the water as well. So I can actually just do this. If inventory 1 has an item in slot number 1, and that item happens to be dirty water or clean water, then dilution can start. Dear God, okay. Here goes nothing. Is it gonna crash? It hasn't crashed yet. Alright. Dilution station. Let's take this. So, beaker goes in here. Lighting sticks. Log. Water. Amber dust. Okay. Light it up. We haven't made that advance forward. But hypothetically, 1 beaker should be gone. No, if our logs don't run out. Technically, it's been at least 5 seconds. So... Huh. Lovely art style. Yeah, that's the idea. Huh. Now that's curious. Reminds me of Don't Starve. Yeah, that's a common comparison. The game for you... Is that the game or you a PC fan? That's the game. The windy ambience. Now, why did it not actually finish? Or did it? Print dilution completed. And while I'm here, I might as well make the progress bar update. Value equals dilution timer dot time left divided by dilution timer wait time. Now this runs out which means we need to do 1 minus this, and then multiply by 100. Because the progress bar takes a value between 1 and 100. Okay, now I demand PayPal refund. You'll never see your money. You've been scammered. There we go. Let's pop this in here. Light. No, can't light without matches. Boop. Alright. And then probably should not have put that in so quickly. Alright. Nice. Oh, it says dilution completed. But it didn't take away the beaker. Oh, okay. Dilution started. When the timer runs out, dilution started will be set to false, so that it has a chance to restart. So it does begin. Then why the heck is it not progressing? I didn't see the progress bar go anywhere either. Weird. Weird and wired. Let me see if I can observe anything useful. Right? No, I don't need dirt. This. Oh yeah, we cannot carry more than 4 logs. That's right. Cinder dust. And then water. Light. Oh, I mean it's doing it. Oh, it did it. It was actually working. I just never reset the state. Oh, okay. What's the third one that crashes the game for some reason? Oh no. What's happening here? Consume dust. That's not dust. Inventory is 0. Let's make sure we actually address the right slot. Okay, and also... I think I'm also missing a condition here. Fuel is 2, and we never talk to slot number 2. Shouldn't ever have to. Right, so the condition before we start is that the output has to be empty. And the output, let me just verify that, is slot number 4. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes. If inventory has not, if it doesn't have anything inside of it, output slot empty. Sloty. There we go. And now here, we'll pause it, or inventory has an item number 4, which means it has something in the output slot. this in. Matches. And then log. Okay, 8 and 32. 5 and 26. 2 and 20. Does it only take 2 waters? No. It actually bugged out. Because we never checked if the amount is correct. Okay, we could do this. Assume that paused has to be false, but if any of this happens, it's true. Fire on. Inventory does not have item number 3, or it is not a chem beaker. Or dust. It's not, the amount, okay. So either it's not there, or it's not the same, or inventory 0, stack does not match, or actually is less than what? Well, we know that we have to work with inserted dust, yeah. We're gonna go master node dilution database, access this item, and then request the amount of dust. Okay. What's inventory 4? Inventory 4 is the output. We also need to check the water. So, or inventory has item number 1, not, or if it has it, inventory item number 1, stack less than master node dilution database, access the item, and then figure out water, how much water we need. You know, everything here could have technically been skipped if I blocked the inventory slot upon insertion, but that is a can of worms that, well, has a lot of worms in it. Okay, cool. I am not a fan of this giant ass thing. If the fire's on, elif, no item 3. What the heck is item 3? 0, 1, 2, 3. Beaker. Elif. Item 1 is water. So, oh, we need to check the type. Right. Or inventory 1 ID. I guess we just do this. Or somehow the what used to have water no longer has water in it. Or if it is correct, the stack amount is not the same. Okay, next. Elif. Doesn't have to be an elif technically. Inventory items 3 is not a cam beaker. Or, well, actually, we need to check if it also is present. Inventory has item 3, not. Okay. Or, not a beaker. Elif. Not item 0, so not a dust. Or something is there, but it's not what we put in initially. Or stack is under the amount. Elif. Something is in the output. Okay, now, in every one of those cases, we're going to pause the timer. Looks ugly, I know, but it should have technically worked. No, our output is populated. Okay, no dust, no beaker, no water. No beaker is this one. Oh, so we already checked for that. Well, there you go. No fire. Alrighty. Now, anything from here, we need to migrate here as well. Has dust, and it's a valid one. This is for starting. Cam beaker. Yeah. Output slot empty. Cool. Boop. There we go. What am I looking for? We got a blank. Okay. Interesting. It paused immediately. Okay, where does it pause? So, pause is false. Is the fire not on? Is there no water? Or the stack is inadequate? Nope. Oh, it was. What? 8 waters. What? So elif, inventory does not have an item, number 1, or dirty water and clean water is not the ID of the item, or the stack is less than the required water.
Huh?
What's the ID here? Inventory 1. I guess we'll have to manually take a look at it. Inserted dust is cinder dust. Inventory 1. Well, that's out of order. Okay. Clean water. Clean _ water. That is correct. What is the stack amount? Stack amount 8. How much water do you need? 3. What? The shitsicles. Okay. Okay. I guess we'll find out which one of these conditions decided to trip us up. Okay. Swear Morphos is still gonna find ways to break this. It's almost an exercise in futility. Log, get in there. Light it up. False, true, false. Okay, so false. Not has it, which is technically means it's true. Clean water has it. Stack. Ah, okay. No, not okay. What the shit? How much is the stack? Okay. Just continue. Except I want you to pause here. Are you gonna pause? No? I guess it's because it's done. Get in there. Light. Pause. That might have changed the values, though. I don't know if it's still accurate. 1. Water. Stack is 8. Well, this technically means false. The second one. The second one. This is the problem. If not, dirty water or clean water. This has to verify that it is something that isn't supposed to be there. That's the condition. Okay. We figured it out.
We got it.
Oh, oh no. Get rid of the breakpoint. Breakpoint going to break my legs. This in. The beaker. And log. Water. Audusta. I'll light it up. Well, everything decreased. And now here it doesn't want to go any further. Okay, good. So it did not launch the next iteration because there's not enough water. If I do this... Okay. Let me try this. We ran out of fire. I should really increase the time duration with that. There we go. And if I take any one of these things out, it will stop. Okay. Cool. So all that's left is to make it output an item. Which, in our case, it's an inventory item, so we need an icon for it. Thankfully, the chemical beaker is pretty much what we need. I don't think I need a copy of it. Just pop it in here. And... okay, so this is going to be a curious thing. How do we go about making this work? Logic will dictate that we can display it underneath. And then if we do so, we can color it. Or we can display it on top and then color it this way. But if we display it on top, it kind of means we display it on top of everything. Because if I display it on top, it has to be behind the black lines, but in front of the background. Or behind the black lines in front of the background. That means that I would have to make the inventory item have multiple layers in it. Now that's quite a drastic change. We have item icon. Selected border. I want to make it with the minimum amount of effort. So we can have the liquid as a separate layer, and then just color it to whatever color we want. That way I don't have to do a bajillion colors here as item icons. Chemical beaker. If we do it like this, the whole bottle changes. Which honestly, I'm looking at it, may not be so bad. But we do need a version of it with the liquid already inside. Okay. It would be nice to have an animated icon, but I think that would end up just being too distracting. Okay, cool. Get this exported. Engine. Sprites. UI. Item icons. Punge. And then this is chemical beaker full. Okay. So, we know that it produces cinder serum. There's the cinder dust. Cinder serum. Okay, weight, value. Type is resource, color. Okay, I guess that color is okay. So it looks like our inventory is already equipped with the tools to colorize icons. That's kind of cool. Okay. I think when it comes to full beakers, we can only carry 16. Maybe even just 8. Okay. Which, by the way, if we can do that, if we can carry or stack 8, that means that our machine would already be it would already be equipped with mass production capabilities. So should we allow stacking or otherwise? Dilution station. Okay, so we do this. Output. What do we output? Inventory slot number 4 is going to contain master node, item database, and then we're accessing inserted something. Inserted dust. We want to access output. Oh, right. We don't want to access inserted dust, excuse me. We want to access whatever the output item of this dilution recipe is. So master node, dilution database, inserted dust, output. That would be more like it. And then we want to create a duplicate of this item, of this dictionary, and populate it here. Okay. Can I give wood logs with longer burn time? God damn. It's not here. It's in the master node. Wood log. Burn time. 35 seconds. Sticks. Burn time. 5 seconds. Go. Pop it in. Water. Duster. Yes. Nice. Okay, and then we extract it. We can combine it. Oh, we're missing water. Go. Cinder serum. Well, it works. It doesn't stack. Maybe we should let it stack. We need an extra pause condition. If output is populated, if it's populated, and the ID, inventory for item ID, does not match the desired type of item that we're supposed to get in response, So dilution database, insert a dust output. So it's not the same thing. Or, okay, so this is important. We need to combine these two conditions. So it's either the output does not match what we're supposed to get, or it does match, but the amount has surpassed the maximum stack. So amount is over or equals master node item database if it does match, we could just use the ID to access it. Amount. Okay, so pause if output has something in it and the ID doesn't match, or it does match, but the amount has surpassed. So we can't stack. All right, now that means we have to go down here and if inventory does not have item number 4, then we populate. Else, if we need to copy this condition, if the ID matches what is already supposed to be there, and we also need to copy this condition, if the amount happens to be less than the maximum amount, which we don't have amount, we have stack, max stack. Okay, then we can simply increase the stack amount. Up. That's 1. Uh-huh. And it doesn't want to start until the output is clear. Okay. If it's not empty, or if the output is empty, or in case it's not empty, the ID matches. So we have to do equals equals. So it matches what we're supposed to get on the output, and the amount is under. Jesus Christ, so many conditions. So many things to go wrong. And the amount is under the maximum amount, which, by the way, no amount. We have stack, max stack. We do use amount here because that's coming from dilution database. And that's also dilution database. Okay. Cool. Oh. Keep pressing the wrong button. It's 1. Take it out. Oh, okay, that's 2. Okay. Oh. That should have done something. That should have stacked it. Okay, so you keep eating up my resources and not giving me shit. What's happening? Output. If it doesn't have it, do this. If it has it, check if the ID, if it matches the output. That's the problem with copying the conditions. And the stack is less than stack maximum. Okay. That ought to do it. Mm-hmm. What do we got? You know it's getting late when my brain don't braining. 1, 2. Hey, well, there's the stack. Let's see if it goes past the maximum. So let's keep feeding it. Okay. There we go. Cool. You know, we could technically make this an animated sprite. All we have to do is create a resource for animated sprite or animated sprite frames, and then reference it in the item database. It's a little bit of extra work, but it would make it cool. All right. Okay, now I think the biggest problem, I think that we haven't caught yet, and I think I'm going to prevent it, is once we populate the dilution inserted dust, it's always going to be that, and we have basically locked ourselves to only being able to produce that kind of output, diluted result. We're going to make it null at the end so that the process can start fresh from here. Dilution started is not true, and then it will set dilution inserted dust to be whatever we're making. All right, so that means once the dilution is done at least once, we have the ability to swap out the items. Now that does bring one particular issue, and it's the fact that if we don't have enough, and we've already started, it wouldn't let us start diluting. But what if we put enough ingredients, it starts diluting, then we take something out, and now we've locked ourselves to only being able to make that one thing until it's done? And what if we step away for like a couple of hours, come back, and we've forgotten what was in it? That is a bit of an issue. And if that is a bit of an issue, then something that we can do is say that if we take out any of the things, it will reset. Which, honestly, that actually seems like a reasonable way to do it. So yeah, you know what? Let's do this. It's a little awkward, but we have this variable that we use to pause the timer, which honestly now that's going to be kind of awkward. Let's say we just abort the whole thing. So var interrupted false. Okay, so we're not going to pause the timer. We're not going to let the player continue from where they left off because that implies issues. We're going to make a variable called interrupted become true. And then after all those checks, if any of those checks results in interrupted becoming true, then dilution started false. Interrupted false. The progress, we have to stop the progress. So stop. I think that should also catch this. Dilution started is false, and inserted dust has to be set to null. The only thing it won't do is recoup the logs. The logs have been spent. Water. Dust. Log. Oh, okay. Interesting. It works. Doesn't work the way I want it to. Let's say that if the timer how do we know if the timer is running? Is stopped is a method. Why didn't you show it in the suggestions? If it's not stopped, so it's running at the moment, then show the value. Else value is 0. Okay. So I think that should do it. I think that's how Minecraft actually does it with the stove. If you put a piece of meat into the stove with the fuel underneath, if you take out the piece of meat, it cancels out the whole progress. Well, don't need that. That's what we're trying to get. Okay. Why you crash? Index null and base dictionary. Probably because inserted dust is null. Oh. That's when we started. There is no inserted dust. If the ID... What is this? Output slot is empty. Okay, so if the output slot ID happens to match the output which we would have gotten based on the ID of the first thing, which is this. There we go. So we can't use inserted dust here because it gets literally populated in the next few lines. There we go. Beautiful. I still have this persistent bug where the inventory doesn't immediately detect that my mouse is in it, so I have to move it outside and then put it back. Very annoying. No, you go there. Then you go there. Okay, take it out, put it back in, starts again. Take it out, put it back in. Okay, now, what if I do this? Doesn't work. Good. Well, that seems to work. I might change the design of this whole thing to have maybe some sort of like an output window here. So it's not just this. It's like a grill. Oh. Well, that's 8. And it just continues. Okay, what happens when the fire runs out? I want to check it with the sticks. Control? No. Alt? Yes. Light it up. Well, hold on a second. I'm trying to see if it works. You can't just have it last exactly the amount of time it takes to... I guess that actually is quite literally what it is. The brewing time is set to 5 seconds, isn't it? God. So many items. Yeah. Let's do 6 seconds. I actually don't want that. You know what? This is actually kind of cool. We have 2 separate systems. One is the fire system, totally independent. And then we have the brewing system. Okay. Water. That's a failure. Yeah, okay. There we go. So, if the fire dies, it resets the whole progress. Is that reasonable? Technically, making it stop and pause and continue wouldn't be too difficult. Yeah, I think that might be a nice addition. So if the fire is not on, tell dilution timer paused to be true. Else, dilution timer paused false. And thankfully, paused property is a totally independent property from start and stop. I think there's a interesting set of features in Godot Engine nodes that I think facilitates things like pausing in-game, not the pausing that is handled by the extra pause state property here. So like custom pausing, like for example, if you're in a dialogue and you need to pause all the detonation timers and all the bombs near you, or detection timers from the enemies, so you can pause them that way. And also, a lot of objects that are based around visuals and animation, like animated sprites, animation player, particles, have another property for speed scale, which allows you to speed up and slow down the simulation and or playback of all those systems, which facilitates things like slow-mo, like when you have slow motion of everything happening in the vats in Fallout. Right? Slow explosions, slow particles, slow enemy animations, slow timers. It's really cool. Okay. Now, I think this right here should do it. I don't want to log, actually. I need to test this. Oh no. We can half the stack from the developer panel. That's not good. Okay. Okay, so that's there. Nice. Okay, well that didn't take us a lot of effort to implement. It's pretty good. Fantastic. Okay, so that's good. Let's push this to GitHub, and then we'll wrap it up for today. 2.5 hours. Holy crap, almost 3 hours. All right. Dilution station. Righty. That should be good. Perfect. That's it. we'll continue in the next one. Thanks everybody for watching. I kind of thought that I'd be able to do all crafting stations, but no, at least I did all the interface components for them. I don't think any of the other ones should be as difficult or as convoluted as the dilution station. It's got two mechanics that works together, and there's a lot of stuff that needs to be checked. The rest of the stuff I think is okay. All right. Perfect. Beautiful. Thanks, Steven. Appreciate it. By the way, apparently that dude's donation is given me an achievement that says, let's celebrate the first super something on a live stream. Oh, okay, I'm not the special one. It's they're the special one. Okay. All right. Good night. Hey, nice. Alrighty. That should be good. We'll continue. Man, I want to see if I can knock all of these out until the refund. Oh, yes. That's coming too. Nothing like a $2, $3 refund. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up. And then maybe tomorrow I can knock these out, get them done, and then I can contact the sound designer and see if we can get some stuff done on these. Cool. All right. See ya, folks.